Hello guys, and welcome to another Elliott Waves on Cryptos. A bit late today for this week, but it doesn't matter. The analysis is still on. We're going to have a quick look on Bitcoin and Luna, which we haven't looked for a while, and I'm pretty sure everybody will appreciate it, especially in the QIC group. So I'm not going to keep you long. I just want to remind you that there is a lot of Telegram channels that are not created by me. Just as a reminder, my real information is only in the About section on YouTube, nowhere else. I do not have any channels free and anything else, only private and with sort of different memberships. So if you wanna, participate in our small group, do contact me directly by using the right information there on the YouTube channel and the About section. I repeat. We're going to move to Discord soon as well, so some of you might want to join if you don't have Telegram or you're not using it much. The reality is that there is going to be a lot of improvements there because Telegram is indeed a little bit limited to how many groups you can have and all that stuff. So hit me up if you are interested. We are going to remind you again that this is not financial advice. None of this is educational, and I am here to help you understand how the markets are moving, how they are expected to move, and show you my analysis using, of course, as always, Elliott waves. We're going to start with BTC, and then we're going to go to Luna. So guys, I want to bring your attention to the main scenario back again. We are waiting for flat wave C to end. So when I see a 5-wave move to the downside continuing, for me, the 1 and the 2 are already in, and it looks like now have a case where you have another 1, 2, and we're going down for the third one, or it might also be the case that we are still in 1 and we are still producing wave 2, and then we'll get 3, 4, and then 5. Okay, so just to give you a bit of a perspective, and judging from the Fibonacci projection here, one level to look is around the 29, and second level is around 25.70, and the third level is around 22k for this particular scenario, of course. So the two variations here in the short term, I repeat, wave 1 and 2 finished, or wave 1 and we're still doing wave 2, which means one more upside and then continuation to the downside. And I repeat, this is the main. Now, another scenario is that we have a 1, 2, 1, 2 for an expanded flat variation, right? Obviously, if we're looking at the running flat now, but in case we do break below the previous low, it's going to become an expanded flat anyway. Regardless, the structure is going to be different, right? So the previous structure, as you can see, our wave 1 and 2 is here, 3 and 4 is here, we're waiting for 5 only. Over here we have an expanded variation, which means our wave 1 is here and wave 2 is here, and we're going to go much lower. And just to give you a bit of a perspective here, probably going to look at least the 1618 in this case. So that's the 2370 for the 161 for wave 3. Okay, let me just pull this down here, and we're looking for below 20 even for the for wave E over here. Okay, so that's the 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 5. This would be something like that. Let me just add this label over here, makes things a little bit easier. This would be the expanded variation. The running flat, guys, hold on, let me just pull this in here quickly. Okay. The running flat variation means that we have finished down here, and this is a unlikely wave 1 to the upside. Why unlikely? Because you've been shown how many times, I don't know, that this does not look like a 5-wave move to the upside in the short term as well. So if you look at it, this thing just simply does not look like a 5-wave move to the upside. It looks like more of a 1, 2 and 3. Okay, see this? we start down here. Just A, B, and C, more likely than anything else. That's why it's not really a scenario that I'm favoring much. Equally, we can get a double triangle here. A double triangle would mean wave Y will be a triangle. With WX, we're going to get a Y for a triangle. I've seen an A, B, C, D, E, and continuation to the upside. Forget about these guys. This is not a wave A of such a small triangle. It's nearly impossible. It's wave 3. It's like 4 times bigger than like each of the wave. If you told me that this is A and we're gonna get B and then C for Y, I would tell you fine, and this is very likely actually to be the case. But you well know that this has always been an alternative. We're just looking at the double triangle. We're looking at a flat potentially in wave Y as well, which becomes a little less likely. And of course, the ABC that I just showed you. The bearish scenario, which unfortunately is probably going to be a bit more downside damaging, would be a case where my 5 waves to the downside are done here. And this is something like an A, B, we're going to get C here and then continue down. Or we're going to get something like A, then we're going to get a B for a flat in B, and then we're going to get wave C and then continue lower down. Okay, so and that is because of course we've got a potential ABC here, although it looks like more of a 5 wave. ABC here as well, and then 1 and 2, and then obviously over here we consider this as with the main, either 1, 2 and we're going down, or 1, my 2 is going to be here and then we'll go down. Okay, all of them are possible. Now there's something else that of course we cannot ignore. Okay, looking at this, just the main, but we also have this as a potential scenario. This scenario looks more like the expanded. Okay, in terms of how we label the impulsive move to the downside, and we are looking for a potential triangle. Okay, but as I mentioned last time, it is very important that we close below the 42138. Okay, very important. Otherwise, there will be overlap and this will probably be invalid. Anything else I wanted to mention here? There is something I think I wanted to mention. By the way, yeah, this could still be in a running flat variation, right? But the thing is that usually when we get triangles, you know, the measured move would take us to around 26k here, so it will probably turn into a running flat variation. Okay, 26k, that would be the target potentially here. So we might stay here for a while. That's the idea of this particular scenario. Okay, I'm closing this off. I'm going to take you quickly in the short term, so I need to go down to the 1 hour and I will show you what I see. This is, as you can understand, the 1 2 1 2 we're looking, right? So my main scenario is this. My 4 finished here. We'll see 1 and 2, and we're going to see another 1 and 2. It looks like to me that wave 1 has finished. This is wave 1 of wave 3, and wave 2 of wave 3 has finished as well. Okay, and I'm looking at this as 1 and 2. So I'm looking for more upside in the short term, and then continuation for 3, 4, and 5, obviously. However, it looks like to me that we still need to get one more leg down to around the 38, perhaps even 37, who knows, and then do wave 2, and from there continue lower down. That's what it looks like to me. So you've got something like an ABC here, and we're going to get another ABC, which means that we are expecting a flat here. We can go down to 37.50, okay, down up to, actually, or down to, up until that level, I mean. And this will still be a valid scenario. And from there, so I'm expecting something like this. Okay, that's the idea. I'm just going to leave it here, take a picture, take a snapshot or whatever. It might not be a variation of the irregular flat, but either way, to me, this is something quite possible. Now, we don't necessarily have a triangle here. It might just be an ABC. We might go down straight away, or we might just, do the 90, who knows here, the 90% of this move to the upside and then go up. It might be a running flat or a flat or an expanded flat. So just keep that in mind. Now, on a different note, it could also be a case where we are finished up here, guys. Okay, that is my wave 2. And you look at 1, we're gonna see something like an ABC, and then continue 3, 4, and 5. That will most likely be way more probable once we break below the 37.50. Okay, until then, everything remains as well as is. Luna. Luna looks like to me that we are still in a flat. Okay, this flat I think was identified a while ago, which means what? Well, if we're in flat on wave 2, we still have a lot of room to the upside. First of all, that's one thing for the long term. Second thing, that is pretty much here. So the expectation is for this to come all the way down to around the 40 something. It might be lower, but we never know. Now, looking at limitations, Luna can still go up to the 144 and be valid for a flat. So since we have 144 as a potential limitation, like the top, the peak, if we look at the structure internally in wave C and we look at 1, 2, and 3, and 4, we also can see that 144 is the 0.786 Fibonacci extension of these waves. Okay, now with the assumption for me, of course, is that we are going to see here this being a wave 1 and wave 2, and then we're going to see 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and that is going to be a motive wave, and it can either be an ending diagonal or a 5-wave impulse. Now, this is the main scenario because to me, this leg to the downside looks corrective. Okay, and if we look into the second and the fourth wave, they actually match according to the guidelines of alternation. They match to be in the same structure, because one could argue, what if we have an ABC here? It is possible, but not as highly. Okay, and then we'll go up. Or another scenario would be, what if we have a running triangle here? Also possible, but not as likely. Okay, or W, X, and Y. So it is actually more likely that we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we end it here, and then we're going to do 5 waves down, and then continue all the way up, rather than getting a flat or a triangle in wave 4. Okay, so the fourth is definitely, it's most probably in than least. Okay, so the idea here is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the upside to around 144, or that will be the max, or we end it and we're going to start moving lower down. Okay, now this is the ABC flat. Okay, now also there is a scenario where we ended down here wave 2, or the correction, and we're going to see a longer ABC, which is only going to bring wave 1 and wave 2 here, and this is 1 and 2, and then we're going to get 3, 4, and 5. The idea is 144 again. Okay, but the idea is also that our wave 1 is here rather than down here, which means we don't have 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're waiting for 5. We are very early in this structure. We just finished wave 1 and 2, and we're going to get more upside. But if that happened, then the chances of the 144 breaking are going to increase, because unless if it is an ending diagonal, okay, in C, because if that would be an impulse in wave C, then it would definitely end up above like 171. Okay, definitely above 171. So we have to go with an ending diagonal here in wave C. And this, of course, ending diagonal in wave C can still be seen in any of the scenarios that we're looking. Okay, so just remember that. I'm just gonna, just to show you something like this, it can be expected to around 144. Okay, if we break 144, then we have the W, X, and Y probably ended here, and this is 1 and 2, and this is going to be our wave 3, and then we're going to get 4 and then 5, and that will of course continue higher, which, if I'm not mistaken, I'm showing here. Short main, okay, no, that's the short term is the one that we finished. I've already explained this. The main, okay, the alternative here, and this. Okay, and then the other scenario would be that this whole move to the upside is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we are going to get a wave B, and then we're going to get a wave C. Okay, and again, we're going to be looking for 144. Sorry, 144 to be our level. Okay, so just to put this in perspective again, look at this. Let me hide this. Let me delete this. Delete this. Delete this. Delete this. 144. Remember. So the idea. 1, 2 is going to be here. Okay, which means we'll have A, B, and C, and then we'll get 2 and move all the way up to 3, 4, and 5. By wave 5, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we're gonna go like this, or we ended it here, and then we're gonna go down into and we'll continue higher. And then the shorter term stuff is that this correction finished, my wave 2 is here, okay, and this is 1, 2, we're gonna get 3, 4, and 5, which means that's going to be only 1. Then we'll get 2, and then we'll continue all the way up. That's going to be massive bull run, a massive upside for Luna. Okay, and then the other scenario where this is still a flat would be here A and B. However, my wave B will have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That will be A, and then we'll get B and then C. So it will be something like this: A, B, and C higher. Okay, and that will be all for Luna. Guys, as well. Now I just want to give you a few more details here on some levels that we need to pay attention to for this leg to the downside. Okay, so we've got the 90, and then we're looking for the 10 or something. Okay, this is probably done. 1, 2, 3, 4. I will put that here. So okay, better to use this then, and we're gonna go potentially, if this is done, then we should be looking for around the 60 or so. Okay, 60, it's going to be a level, well, if we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and that is A, we're going to get B here and then C higher. So it's going to go around 60, okay, 67 and 60, or 67, or, yeah, anywhere between. Now, if this is the main scenario, we obviously need to stay above where we are. Well, that would be pretty much, okay, we can go down to 80, but we don't want to break 80. If we lose 80, actually the 75 is going to be the level. It means that this is the end of wave 5 over here, probably. Okay, so we're going to go for the other scenarios, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and the A, B, C, or 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for 1, and then we get 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so the levels we need to pay attention to in the short term is the 75, and then 67 and 60. If we continue higher from any sort of correction here, 44 is the aim. But first we're going to look at the 110, the 120, and then the 130. Okay, it's easy. So that's going to be all. I hope you enjoyed. If you have questions, leave them in the video, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can, and join the rest of the Sunday, whatever is left. And we'll be again here in a week's time or so. Take care.